So here we go. We're is this live again?
It looks like.
Okay, no, the chocolate stuff. But I think this is just later than what we just showed you, and you can see the smoke has gotten lighter.
And the white smoke, that is a good sign, because that means that the fire is, firefighters hopefully got a better control of the fire, even though you saw a couple of flames still within that heavy, thick brush. But that black smoke, I mean, that's very indicative of just a lot of the fuel and how strong and intense that fire is, and how firefighters really are trying to get a hold of that fire from spreading even into more nearby businesses that you can see are just jam-packed along the right side of that street. But again, US 60 closed in both directions at milepost 111. This is the area between US 93 to Zabel Mine Road. That whole area has been evacuated. And again, we also know that APS has shut off power to a number of areas in that area because of the fire.
Yeah, and to the top left of your screen, that's kind of the heart of Wickenburg there. So that's how close it got into that old Western. There's a hat maker down there. They do like Old West kind of tours and things. And again, there are a couple of famous dude ranches from the 50s as you kind of go further down US 93. But that's a good look. Remember we showed you earlier how clean and white those buildings were? This is after they dropped that retardant on those buildings. And you can see it's that fluorescent red, which really kind of helps firefighters too from the air know exactly where they've dropped their retardant down. But again, multiple buildings burning out there. So we talked about the conditions, and Chris, you brought up that and I'm looking at it here, you're right, the smoke is not laying down on its side like it's blowing by 20 or 30 mile an hour winds. But boy, it's hot out there today, and as I just talked about, things are very, very dry.
Right, and imagine if we did have 20 or 30 mile per hour winds on top of all of the pre-existing conditions, then we would be dealing with a different fire situation. Do have an update on the closure, US 60 from Morristown, which is down here, all the way up to the Wickenburg area. It's eastbound from Wickenburg and westbound from Morristown. So if you're just down below, say, Surprise, you're trying to get to Wickenburg, US 60 is closed right now. No estimate on the reopening time. And I brought up the radar here. This radar signature is actually the smoke. So it's not just for showing rain. The radar is actually detecting the smoke, because the smoke is made up of little particles, and the radar beam hits those particles of smoke, bounces back to the radar site, and so we can actually see the smoke from this fire in Wickenburg on the Doppler radar as this area, it's not expanding and not really being blown off in one direction or another. So another sign that the wind is not driving this fire. We have dry conditions. We have hot conditions. We have plenty of fuel around. So those are the main factors. At least wind is not a factor at this point in time. You can see in the video back behind me, we still have that smoke that is rising up and not being driven by the winds, but the smoke clearly showing up on the radar. And temperature-wise, we're right around 110 in some spots of the valley. In fact, Sun City right now reporting 110 degrees. Pretty close to that in Wickenburg. 111 in Levine and 107 in Tempe right now. Another key factor for fire danger, we know it quite well here in Arizona, low relative humidities. Just about the entire valley below 10%, only 5% are relative humidity. So it's hot and it's dry, but at least we don't have the wind, guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. Right